First thing you might recognize is there are three actual guitar controls. This one controls the volume, the second one controls the tone, and the third controls the pickup position, just like on a real guitar. Most important controls of our instruments, such as volume pot, tone pot, pickup switch, etc., are MIDI automatable. In order to assign the MIDI CC to one of the guitar controls, all you have to do is right-click over the desired control, then a pop-up window which says Learn MIDI CC Automation will appear. Click on it, and finally move a MIDI CC of your choice. And that's it. Now, let's hear an example. I will play some notes while I move the volume pot. Now, I will play the same notes while I move the tone pot. Now, listen to a different example while I change the pickup position. This is where you select the articulations you want the instrument to play. Right at the middle, you can read the word Sustained. If you click over it, a pop-up menu will appear showing all the available articulations. Let's choose harmonics and see how it sounds. Now, let's try another one. Palm mute, for instance. Guitarists don't used to play every note using the same technique, but a combination of several ones in a single phrase. That's why we created our Articulation Matrix system, consisting of 3 articulation menus from where you can choose which articulation will be triggered depending on how hard or soft you play your keyboard. The first one at the top is the high velocity menu. The second one in the middle is the mid-velocity menu. The third one at the bottom is the low-velocity menu. Now, let's hear an example combining 3 different articulations. X-mutes at the bottom, sustained notes at the middle, and slap at the top. When I play low-velocity notes, let's say softly, what I get is this sound. When I play mid-velocity notes, not too hard, what I get is this sound. Now, if I play high-velocity notes real hard, then I will get this sound. Now let's hear an actual musical example by combining all 3 articulations. The high velocity control lets you adjust the threshold at which a note will be considered a high velocity note. You can type a value or use the arrows to change the values. The low velocity control works the same as the former one and allows you to adjust the threshold at which a note will be considered a low velocity note. You can see that some articulation menus have a triple dot symbol among the other articulation names. That symbol means that this particular articulation menu will be ignored. If I leave active the middle articulation only, no matter how soft or hard I play, I will always get the middle articulation, in this particular case, the sustained notes only. The blue keys represent the actual play range of the instrument, and it is where you play the melodies and chords. The play range goes from E1 to D5. This instrument contains several articulations. By pressing a key switch, you can change the articulation configuration of the instrument. They go from F0 up to B0. Whenever you press a key switch, it will turn green in the virtual keyboard, so you can check which one is active at any time. Regular key switches in cyan will remain active until you press another key switch. Momentary key switches in dark cyan will remain active as long as you hold the key switch pressed. Once you release the key, the last pressed key switch will be activated. For instance, at this moment, the active key switch is F0 and its assigned articulation is the sustained notes. Now, if I hold down the key F#0, which is a momentary key switch, it will remain active as long as I keep the key pressed. In this case, the assigned articulation is harmonics. Note that once you release the momentary key switch, the last pressed key switch will be activated automatically. Let's hear some examples. Keep in mind that every key switch in our instrument is fully configurable, so you can easily customize your instrument to your needs by selecting the set of articulations you want to use in every key switch. In order to assign articulations to a momentary key switch, you must keep pressed the momentary key switch while selecting the desired articulation. Once the articulation has been selected, you can release the momentary key switch. Our guitars have several operation modes you can select from the drop-down menu or using a slider. Solo mode. This is the standard operation mode. You use the play range, the blue keys, to play the melodies, and the instrument will remember the notes you have played. Then you can use the strumming keys to play repetitions of the last played notes. But we will get deeper into these special keys later on in this video. Chord recognition mode. In this mode, the instrument will detect the chords you play and it will transform the chords into actual guitar chords. You use the play range to create the chords and the strumming keys to strum the chords. Direct chords mode. In this mode, the instrument will detect the chords you play on your keyboard and it will transform the chords into actual guitar chords. You use the play range to play the chords and the strumming keys to repeat the chords. Power chords mode. Power chords are chords consisting of the root note, the fifth plus the root note 1 octave higher. In this mode, every note you play on your keyboard will be interpreted as the root note and then transform into guitar power chords. You use the play range to play the chords and the strumming keys to repeat the chords. Since most of the instrument controls are MIDI automatable, you could, for instance, assign the sustain pedal MIDI CC64 to the mode slider in order to change the mode on the fly. The strumming keys are located at both sides of the play range, from C0 to E0 and F5 to C5. They will behave differently depending on whether you are in solo mode or any of the chord recognition modes. For instance, in solo mode, when you press a strumming key, the last played notes will be repeated. In chord recognition mode, when you press a strumming key, the last detected chord will be played. Strumming down keys in pink. When you press one of those keys, the last detected chord or notes will be played, starting from the lowest pitch to the highest pitch note. Strumming up keys in yellow. When you press any of those keys, the last detected chord or notes will be played, starting from the highest pitch note to the lowest pitch note. X-mute keys in white. When you press any of those keys, the last detected chord or notes will be played using the X-mute articulation. Strum. This slider controls the delay time between the notes of a chord or repetition played using the strumming keys. Arpeggio keys from E6 to C7. When you set the instrument to chord recognition or direct chords mode and you play a chord in the play range, the arpeggio keys will give you access to the individual notes of the detected chord. Fretboard position keys from E-2 to A#-1. When you set the instrument to chord recognition or direct chords mode and you play a chord in the play range, the fretboard position keys will give you access to different variations of the detected chord. Legato on. Activates, deactivates the legato transitions for the legato notes. ERR. Activates, deactivates the extended round-robin system to avoid the machine gun effect. "12 strings. Activates, deactivates the 12-string guitar simulation. Effects. The Special Effects menu offers several effects you can choose from the drop-down menu: vibrato, harmonics morphing, and feedback morphing. The effects slider controls the effects amount. Articulation volume. You can adjust the volume level of every articulation. Select first an articulation from the drop-down menu and then adjust the level of the selected articulation. Dynamics. You can adjust the volume difference between high velocity notes and low velocity notes. Pitch bend. We designed a special pitch bend curve for our guitars, which has two main functionalities: pitch bending and micro bending. The central area of the pitch bend wheel has a lesser impact on the pitch of the played notes than the top or the bottom area has. This allows the player to create micro bendings, adding character and expression to the played notes. You can think of it as a sort of vibrato control. On the other hand, the closer you move the pitch bend wheel to the top or bottom, the greater the pitch change will be. You can also adjust the amount of pitch bending up or down independently. Well,